Hello, students. Welcome to this class. Our lesson for today is about the psychology of tourism. Are you ready? Let's begin. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to discuss the factors that motivate people to travel, elucidate the relationship of needs, wants, and motives to tourist motivation, describe the push or pull model, explain the relation between Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the travel motivations listed in travel literature. Describe the characteristics of psychocentrics and allocentrics. Identify the characteristics of travelers based on purpose of travel and analyze the travel constraints. So here are some travel motivations identified by some studies. We have here escape, relaxation, relief of tension, sunlust, physical, health, family togetherness, interpersonal relations, roots or ethnics, maintaining social contacts, convincing oneself of one's achievements, showing one's importance to others, status and prestige, self-discovery, cultural, education, professional or business, wanderlust, interest in foreign areas, and scenery. And there are many other travel motivations that are not mentioned here, but could be a possible reason why people do travel. So here we have categorized the different travel motivators according to these four categories. The first one that we have is the physical motivators. So these include physical rest, sports participation, beach recreation, relaxing entertainment, and other motivations directly connected with health. So for those people who would travel to other place just to participate on a sports activity or do yoga, so those are somehow related to physical motivators, okay? Next is the cultural motivators. So these include the desire to know about other countries' music, art, folklore, dances, paintings, and religion. So there are people who would like to visit other country because they want to know the culture of that specific destination, so that somehow creates the cultural motivators. Next is the interpersonal motivator. So these pertain to the desire to meet other people, visit friends or relatives, escape from routine, from family and neighbors. So there are people who are very stressed daily because of work or because of school works. Now, so some of them, they would like to go to other place because they want to meet other people, they want to socialize. Now, so these are interpersonal motivators that we have. Or there are also some people who would like to visit other destination because they would like to meet someone or who is the one, okay, or their loved one. Next is the status and prestige motivators. So these concern ego needs and personal development. So there are people who travel to other countries because they would like to develop their self. No? They would like to enhance their experience. Some of them, they would go for educational tours, or some of them would just like to travel to add more experiences on their lives. So those are part of our status and prestige motivators. So the key to understanding tourist motivation is to view vacation travel as a vehicle to satisfy one's needs and wants. The difference between a need and a want is awareness. So basically, we all know that a need are those things that are very important in our lives. So without them, then we will not be living. Okay? If we don't have those needs, we will not live. Like for example, we have clothes, we have water, right? And wants naman are those the things that we can still live even without them. So those are just only for our luxury. So the difference between the two is awareness. No? So this awareness must be accompanied by motivation. To enable a person to be motivated to satisfy a need, an objective or goal must be present. Thus, it is the marketing's role to suggest objectives such as vacations, cruises or flights to satisfy needs, an awareness of which has already been created. So here is a figure that shows the relationship of all those things that we were mentioning. Now, as you can see in this arrow, we have here the needs and wants. No? So basically, when we market tourism, we must give awareness to the people. What are their needs? Okay, we must orient them. These are your needs. Part of your need is shelter. Part of your need is food. Part of your need is love and belongingness. So we give them awareness and then we convert those needs into wants. Okay, so by giving them awareness, they will now be informed of the things that they need and how are they going to want those needs. For example, their basic need is just to have food. That is the basic need. But if you're going to convert it into want, then you must give information to people that you must go to travel so that you can taste any other different foods. Okay, so that is about converting needs to wants by giving awareness. Now, because of these needs and wants that we need to have objectives for us to fulfill our wants. Okay, so this objective could be, oh, I should go to Boracay to satisfy my need to escape, no, or to satisfy my need to meet new people. So what the marketing will do is to suggest, no? So we suggest them, okay, you go to Boracay, you can satisfy all your needs in Bora. You can meet different people there. You can have relaxation in the beach. And with that, it will create motivation. And then of course, if you have been to that destination and then you are able to experience everything that you need and you want, then you will be satisfied with your experience. So that is the relationship between needs, wants, and motivation. So now let's talk about the push or pull model. So why do people go on holiday? So push factors are those which are said to make you want to travel. So these are intrinsic factors within you, while pull factors are those that which affect where you travel given the initial desire to travel. So these are extrinsic factors or outside you that will encourage you to visit a certain destination. Now, let's talk first with the push factor. So the push factor is the origin area. So it is from your environment, no, from the person's environment or the departing environment. Now, these intrinsic factors, it may include social-psychological motives like escape, self-exploration, relaxation, prestige, regression, relationship, or social interaction. There might be people who are so full of their environment, who are so stressed, for example, oh, I want to escape from this life, I'm so tired. So those would become your push factor to travel. And with that, you will now be motivated to depart from your destination or from your origin area going to your destination. But before selecting your destination, you will now have the pull factors in that motivation. For example, if you want to escape because of too much stress from your daily life, then most probably you need to visit a destination where you can relax. Now, that's where the pull factor comes in. Okay, so of course you will be choosing those destinations that could make you relax. So it may include the cultural motives, novelty, education, and many other things that you can find in the destination for you to visit that specific destination. Okay, so that's the relationship between the push and pull model. Now, when we are talking about motivation, these motivations are related to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Basically, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we have 5 levels. So the first level that we have is psychological need. These are our basic needs: food, shelter, clothes, and Next level is the safety need, next social need, and then self-esteem, and then self-actualization. So for psychological need, it is about escaping from routine, relax and body reconstitution, and external excitement. No? So, oh, I would like to visit to a beach just to sleep there, have relaxation, or just eat some food there. So that is part of your psychological need. Now, for safety need, it is a concern for own health, a concern for other safety, and simulation. There are people, again, that would travel because of their health. Okay. Oh, I would like to go to that place because I would like to have an acupuncture. I would like to go to that place because I want to have a massage. So that is safety about your health. So those are part of our safety needs. For social need, so it is giving love and affection, maintain and initiate relationship, to be with group membership. So again, as what I have said a while ago, that there are people who would like to travel to other places because they want to meet other people. So that is about satisfying our social need. And for self-esteem, it is about external rewards, prestige, glamour of traveling, competence, or mastery. It is about developing your confidence. So there are people who would like to travel to other place, especially to other country, because they want their esteem to be developed. They want to boost their confidence. Now, it is not only about self-confidence, but as well as confidence to other people. Because there are people who would like to be accepted when they visit another destination. Now, the highest level in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs is self-actualization. It is about fulfilling a dream, understand myself more, or experience inner peace and harmony. So examples of this kind of travel is for those people who would like to travel to educate themselves, no, to add more experience, or if they want something like, if it is listed in their bucket list, like for example, one of my wish is I will travel to Antarctica. Okay. So I should go there to fulfill my dream. So that could be a self-actualization need for me. Now, aside from these five level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there are two added talking about tourism. So one is to know and understand. So it is about acquiring knowledge. And the other one is aesthetics or appreciation of beauty. So there are people who are motivated to travel because they want to know more about the destination that they are going to visit. And aside from that, they want to appreciate the beauty of the destination. So actually, I myself, it is part of my motivation when I go to travel. I really want to expound my experience. I want to explore more so that it could add more on my knowledge as a traveler. Ayun. So here is the listed travel literature motivation in relation to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So for example, the physiological needs, your motivation is for relaxation. So you could have escape, relaxation, relief of tension, sunlust, physical or mental relaxation of tension. For safety, and the motive is for security, then this travel could be about health, recreation, or keep oneself active and healthy for the future. For social, love and affection, so it's about family togetherness, enhancement of kinship, relationships, companionship, facilitation of social interaction, maintenance of personalities, interpersonal relations, ethnic roots, show one's affection for family members, or maintain social contacts. And for self-esteem, your motive could be achievement status. So it's about convincing oneself of one's achievements, show one's importance to others, prestige, social recognition, ego enhancement, professional or business. And for self-actualization is personal fulfillment. So here are some listed tourist motivations that we have. So first is the need to escape or change. So once again, there are people who would like to change their environment because they are so stressed, no? Or there are people who do not like consistency in their lives. So they want new things. They want changes. So they are going to travel so that they could escape to their daily lives. Next is travel for health. So again, this is a travel related to our physical health. Another thing is sports. It could be you are the sports man itself, or you are an athlete and you will be participating in a sport event, or it could also be you are traveling there just to attend a sport activity as an audience. Next is social contact. So again, this is a kind of motivation wherein people would like to travel because they want to meet other people. Next is travel education. So travel for education is for those who go to abroad, for example, because they want to study there, or this kind of educational tours that we have, so that we will learn something in the destination that we are going to visit. Another motivation is the personal values. We just want to enhance more our existing values. Cultural experience, so it's related to the cultural motivators, wanting to know more about the traditions, lifestyle of other destinations. Next is shopping and bargain hunting. There are actually people who will travel to other places because they would just like to go on shopping, or they will just want to have a bargain. No, there are people coming from Mindanao who would like to go to Manila in Divisoria because they just want to have a shopping there, and then they will come back here, sell all those items. Next is professional and business motives. So this is common to businessmen who will travel to other countries or to other places because for business purposes, including attending conventions, seminars, conferences, or have business meetings with their business partners. And lastly, we have the search for natural beauty. So this is just more on appreciation of the beauty of the destination that they are going to visit. So now let's talk about the learning process of a tourist. So an individual will buy a vacation package if he or she has learned that the purchase will satisfy an important need. So this process is shown in the next figure. So the tourist compares various alternatives with a list of criteria to determine which alternatives will most likely satisfy a particular motive. The resulting inclination will affect the decision to buy, and this inclination may be positive or negative depending on how well a chosen alternative will meet the motivation. The number of alternatives will vary according to the characteristics of the traveler. So here is the learning process of a tourist. Now, before you go to travel, what you will do is that you will acquire information, right? So what you will do is that you will get information either through commercial or social. Commercial, this will include advertisements, no? Everything that you see on the posts, on TV, on radio, in social media. And for social, these are feedbacks from travelers who have been to the destination. Okay, there are things that we call as word of mouth experiences. So for example, if I've been to Hong Kong, I could say that Hong Kong is a wonderful place. I had a very nice experience in Hong Kong. When I went to Disneyland, I was really very happy because it satisfies my need as a child, even though I'm not a child anymore, but still I'm a child at heart. So somehow it satisfies my need. So that could be a good information for a traveler who would like to visit Hong Kong. Okay, so from those information, this will now be combined. No? So here in the next arrow here, these information are now combined. Now, from this combination of information that we have, it will now starting to create motives. So by creating motives, oh, I want to go to visit a destination. I want to satisfy my need to be happy. I want to satisfy my need to meet other people or see a beautiful place. So those could be your motives. Now, with those motives that you have, you will now select alternatives. Okay, so what are these alternatives? There are different alternatives that you can choose from depending on your motives. So for example, if you want to visit a beach, for example, because your motive is just for escape or relaxation, then your alternatives would be different destination offering beaches. Okay, but relaxation cannot only be achieved in the beach. You can also have relaxation even just you're in a resort, or if you will just stay in a hotel with a swimming pool without a beach. So those are other alternatives that you have. And with that, you will have your inclination, and then it will now proceed to your previous vacation purchase. So for example, oh, I want to go to Boracay, but I've been to Boracay before and I was not satisfied. That's only for an example. So based on your previous vacation purchase, you will now select if you could have a same vacation or a similar vacation. So if you would like to repeat your experience in Boracay, if you have a very happy experience there, then you could opt to have a same vacation. But if your experience was not satisfying from your previous vacation purchase, then you could opt to have a similar vacation to other destination. So that is now your choice if you're going of what type of vacation that you are going to avail. So that is the learning process of a tourist. So again, before you select a certain destination or a certain activity, first you will acquire information, then it will create motivation, choose alternatives, and then refer to your previous vacation purchase. And now you select if you're going to choose same vacation or similar vacation or a very different vacation. Okay, now let's move on to the effect of consistency and complexity on leisure travel. So individuals differ in the amount of psychological tension they can handle. Too much repetition or consistency results in boredom and a corresponding amount of psychological tension greater than a person could handle. So, to reduce this tension, he will attempt to introduce some complexity in his life. Similarly, too much complexity may result in more tension than a person can endure. To reduce the level of tension, he will introduce consistency into that experience. So here, consistency versus complexity. So consistency and complexity have differences, no, or will make a difference between the different types of travelers. There are people who would like to have consistency all throughout their travel, and there are also people who would like to have complexity or they want changes, they want new experience. For example, a Filipino tourist in Europe may find different languages and cultures. So that's part of complexity, right? Because when you travel to Europe, they have different language. Their language there, it could be French, it could be Portuguese, Spanish, no, Italian, German, or many other languages that you have. And they have a very different culture. So that makes or that creates complexity in your experience. Now, for it to be balanced, because there are people who cannot handle too much complexity, then they need to stay in a hotel chain with which is familiar in a Filipino culture. So at least there is a consistency in his experience despite of all the new experiences that he could encounter in that destination. At least when he go back to the hotel, it is somehow familiar to him. So there is still consistency. Okay, so next, so because of this consistency and complexity that we have, this will help in classifying travelers based on personality. So we have here three: psychocentrics, midcentrics, and allocentrics. For psychocentrics, consistency is on the highest level. Okay, they want everything to be consistent. They want everything to be arranged and organized. So for psychocentric travelers, they want everything to be planned ahead of time. They want it to be prepared before they go to travel because they do not want complexity in their travel. They do not want unexpected circumstances in their travel. For allocentrics, they are the complete opposite of psychocentrics. So if psychocentrics want to have too much consistency, then the allocentrics would like to have too much complexity. So they want new adventures, they want risky activities, they want unexpected circumstances. Those are for allocentrics. While for midcentrics, so since they are in the middle, they want consistency at the same time, they also want complexity. Okay, so you must remember that one. Those are the three classifications of travelers based on personality. So now we have classification of travelers based on purpose of travel. So basically we have two, the business travelers and pleasure travelers. For business travelers, we have the regular business travelers. So they are those regular businessmen and women who will go to travel because the nature of their business really requires traveling. So it could be a male or female, but there are differences between male and female regular business travelers. For male business travelers, when they go to travel, they are not very particular of many other activities aside from their main purpose. Okay, for example, if you will go to China to attend a business meeting, then you will just focus on that specific reason. But for women, sometimes when we go to travel, or for example, if we will go to China, aside from the main business purpose that we have, we will make use of our extra time to visit other destinations in China because they want additional experience aside from the regular business travelers. Okay, and aside from that, of course, some female travelers, they make use of their extra time to go on shopping if they are in other country or in other place. Another type of business traveler is the business travelers attending meetings, conventions, and congresses. So this is common to us teachers because we visit other places to attend conventions and conferences. Actually, I've been to different places here in the Philippines and even abroad just to attend a convention. I've been to Bali last month because I have attended an international convention. So it was all free. I had a free accommodation, free transportation, free foods, and everything. So I just need to bring extra money for my own expenses. So another one is I've been to Manila, to Palawan, no, just to attend conventions. So my main purpose there is for business travel. And of course, we have incentive travelers. So this kind of travel is given to employees who have a higher performance in their job because the purpose of incentive travel is to motivate more the employees of a certain company. So these incentive travelers travel in a destination for free because their expenses have been shouldered by the company itself. Now, for pleasure travelers, we have the resort travelers. So these kind of travelers would visit, of course, resorts, no, for recreation and leisure purposes. We also have the family pleasure travelers. So under the family pleasure travelers, we have three types of family: the junior, mid-range, and mature. For junior families, usually the parents' age are 20 to 34 years old, and they have babies or even some do not have children yet. So basically, pag junior families, it's more on babies pa yung mga children nila, no? So um, some of them, they do not have much time to travel and even enough money because they are still starting a family. For the mid-range families, usually the parents age from 35 to 44 years old. So in here, their children are already in high school. Some of them have much money but do not have much time, or some of them have much time but do not have much money because their children are still going to school. And for mature families, these are families aged 45 and above for the parents, and their children are already also having their own family. So basically, senior citizens belong here. It's more on for retirement, so they have more time to travel. They also have more money to travel because their children have already their own family, so they could afford on their own, and they have much more time. Next is the elderly. So elderly, it may start from 50 and above or 60 here in the Philippines. Our senior citizen age starts with 60. So the elderlies have more money and have more time because they are usually retired people, no, and they have much money from pensions or from their savings. We also have the singles and the couples. So they travel for pleasure, especially in our generation nowadays. We have this parang new trend that instead of buying things, material things, why not go on travel, right? So we have this saying that YOLO, you only live once. So why not go on travel, make use of your time to experience new things, visit other destinations like that. And we also have couple goals. So you travel with your partners to other places to have a more romantic experience. Now, with those motivations that we have, there are also some instances that we cannot travel because of some travel constraints. Number one is lack of money. There are people who have a lot of time, but they do not have money to travel, extra money. So, yun. Of course, you cannot travel if you do not have money because when you go to a tour, you really need to have money because tourism activity entails expenses. Okay. Next is lack of time. So there are people who have enough money but do not have enough time because they are working. So if you have money but you don't have time to travel, then of course you can still do not go to travel. So mas kawawa yung lack of money na nga, lack of time pa rin. But if you have the money and you have the time, then you are very lucky. Now, we have the next one that we have here is lack of safety and security. There are people who do not travel because they are afraid of their health and they are not secured of themselves, or they are afraid that if they're going to visit to other destination, they will not be secured. For example, there are people who are sick, no, like for example, they have a heart disease or like they have cancer. So of course they cannot go on travel. There are also people who are afraid of their security in the destination. Safety and security both. For example, now that we have COVID-19, we have a lot of travel restrictions. Of course, people are afraid to travel in other places because they are afraid to have been infected by the virus. So dili na sila mag-travel because they are afraid na matakdan sila sa virus. And in terms of security, especially here in Mindanao, no, we are known for wars, bombing, terrorism. So some people are afraid to travel here because of security. So ayan. Next is physical disability. So there are people who have disabilities like they are blind or um, they do not have one leg, no, so they are not that capable of traveling. But actually we have a new form of tourism which is called as accessible tourism, which creates a travel opportunity for persons with disabilities. So they are already travel for the blinds, travel for the deaf and mute, so they can now be capable to travel, but still some of them do not like to go on traveling because of their disabilities. Next is family commitment. So this is common to those who have their own family. Like for example, if you are already married, especially for women, and you have already a kid or a child, no, so of course it is not easy for you to go on travel because you need to think of your child. You need to think of your kids, no? So when you go on travel, oh my God, my baby, how is she? How is he? Nakakain na ba siya or what? Nakatulog na ba siya? So, to avoid those concerns, dili na lang ka mag-travel. No? So, those are some reasons of parents who still have very small children. Next is lack of interest in travel. Well, there are really people who didn't like to go on travel. They just didn't have interest. That's it. And of course, the next one is fears of travel. So, actually, I have a friend I know of na he is afraid of traveling. Number one is afraid of heights. Na takot siya sumakay sa plane because, ayun na nga, para bang he is paranoid na what will happen? Baka madisgrasya, no? Maybe we will have a plane crash. So, ayun. So, they are afraid of traveling. One also is para bang they are paranoid na if they go on a ride sa ship, baka lulubog, ganyan, ganito, ganyan. They have a lot of reasons. So, ayun, pag matatakotin, then they will not go on traveling. All right, so that's the end of our lesson. So if you have any question, you may ask them during our virtual class meeting. So thank you so much and see you on our next lesson. Bye.